What is it like being a Jamaican in Idaho, USA? Hi, I'm Xavier Murphy, founder of Jamaicans.com, and today in Jamaicans to the World, I talk to Thelma Stubbs, a Jamaican living in Idaho. Hi, Thelma, how are you?
Hi, Xavier. I'm fine. Uh,
Well, Idaho, man, this is gonna get really interesting today. So, first question, which part of Jamaica are you from?
okay, I'm from Kingston, Jamaica, and I was living really in the heart of Kingston, where I was born in like Tex Lane, Beeson Street, and in
Okay,
the nights you would see the various meetings from the Rastas or the Pocomania meetings, those are, you kind of grew up with that. And the Rastas,
okay.
they had all the pictures of Haile Selassie,
Mm-hmm.
and the Pocomanians had their head wraps. So
That's where you grew what you grew up around.
yes. And of course, Junkono, Christmas time, when I used to hide behind Mr. Chin shop, peeping out at them. And one day
Yes.
I actually followed them. I was little, and I'm just, it's kind of this attraction, you're scared, but you want to see.
You're
And
curious.
yes, you're curious. And I followed them at a safe distance before anybody missed me. And we ended up on East Queen Street, where they went into a ice cream parlor, they used to call it then.
Right.
And I'm there watching and wondering what's gonna happen. And they took off their mask, and one guy said, "A patty and a cocoa bread."
So you never knew anything was back then as a child. You never knew anything was behind the mask.
No, 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 no. I'm
So
saying they are real, they are people, you know. So I was kind of disappointed. And then I looked around, Xavier. I said, "Where am I? I don't know how to get home."
oh
And
wow.
luckily, by this time, my dad had missed me, and he rode a bicycle, and then he found me just at the time when I'm confused. And
Right.
of course, he said, "Never do that again." But I wasn't thinking about safety or anything. I just was interested in finding out who are these people.
So which school you're representing today? Which school you want to give a big up to? High
Well,
school,
high
secondary?
school.
Uh,
Well, high school. Then I was going to Calabar Primary, but um, the high school I went to, I passed my common entrance, of course, to Camperdown High School, the
okay.
great Camperdown High School. And I hasten to say I went at the time when Glenn Mills, we were classmates. Glenn Mills, the coach of the great Usain Bolt.
Okay. All
So
right.
we were at school together, and we're in the same class. And
Wow. Awesome.
yeah,
Awesome.
and
Is there
things
a
were
teacher?
happening. We, once our team went to the pen release, and we heard that Glenn Mills was like assistant coach. He was in my class. I said, "When did this happen?" So he started early. He started out early, and you know,
Wow. Wow.
he started out
So, is
early.
there a teacher you remember from Camperdown that influenced you and your life?
Oh, certainly. Two teachers, the founding principal, Mrs. Ivy M. Grant, and Mrs. Cynthia Cook. She was Warren at the time. We were in the same. No, sorry. Cynthia Warren was in the class with me, but Mrs. Winifred Smith, sorry, I made a mistake there. Mrs. Winifred Smith was my English teacher.
Okay.
Yes, so I'd learned to read very early because my dad gave me, lots of books. And so when I reached Camperdown now, She just put the icing on the cake. Very good English teacher. My principal, the theme for the school is only the best is good enough, and that was really her mantra, because she would tell us, poor, no, mediocre, not a chance. It must be excellent. So,
Wow.
and we and we never forgot that. It
Wow, wow.
was
Well, big up to your English teacher at Camperdown.
yes,
And it
and the
sounds like she
founder.
had quite the influence on you.
Yes.
Um, so let's roll to here, your United States. Tell us your story
Okay.
on how you came to the United States and
Mhm.
Idaho. I
Of
mean,
all
that is
places.
is somewhere where typically you're not finding Jamaicans. So tell us that story, please.
Okay. So first of all, when you say Idaho, people don't know where you're talking about. They're saying, do you mean Ohio or Iowa? So you have to say, no, Idaho. So I say Idaho, where potatoes grow.
Okay, I like that one.
Yes,
Idaho, where
Idaho
potatoes grow.
grow. And we actually get Idaho potatoes in Jamaica. If you look back, if you look in the supermarkets, you'll see Idaho potatoes.
Yes.
So, how did I get to Idaho? Well, that's a great question, because back in the late 1980s, um, a coach from Boise State University came to Jamaica, to a high school in Jamaica, and he had 1.5 scholarships, and my son got the full scholarship to Idaho. So, so that started my connection with Idaho. I accompanied him to Idaho to be in school, and then went back home. But it's in my retirement years now that I found it possible to actually come back. I've been, coming and going, but uh, at this time I said, let me come and spend some time. So that's
So
succumbs, as Jamaica says, succumbs to reach Idaho.
so tell us a little bit about Idaho. I mean,
Mhm,
a lot of times when we kind of envision the place, you mentioned the potatoes and
mhm, mhm.
probably farms and so on. Tell us
Yes.
a little bit about Idaho and
Mhm.
the people.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, the Idaho is a very beautiful place. Um, Lots of recreational activities go on. There are lots of mountains and falls, and there is a Shoshone Falls, which is actually higher than the Niagara Falls.
Wow.
Um,
Didn't know that.
you know, so lots of people have, or families have, like a cabin in the mountains,
Right.
and like a getaway spot, and there are falls all over the place. Recently, in fact, a group that I was with went to a place named Cascade, and she had a cabin up there, and you could see a lovely lake. We had a view of a lake, and then we had the pine forests, and
Hmm.
above that you had the mountain, snow-capped mountain. Even now in the fall, the snow was there, just at
Wow.
the top of the mountain. So it was a lovely view, very lovely.
So,
And
sorry, go ahead.
yes, lots of pine trees. And and of course, when it snows, those, you can imagine how beautiful those are, with
Right,
the
right.
snow on just capping the
It gives you that
Christmas
Christmas
card.
tree and that Christmas card look
Yes,
when you see that.
right.
So,
Because where I live in Boise, what we have are the foothills. They call the foothills of Boise, which
okay.
are maybe about high as our mountains in Jamaica, but dry, very dry for most of the year. It is
I see.
brown, so not attractive to me coming from Jamaica with these lovely, lush green blue mountains.
I see. So
So I love when I didn't know could say this, but I love the winter because
you love the
the
what?
snow covered
You
mountains.
you love it because of the beauty of seeing the white.
Right? Yes,
Okay,
not
not
closer. It
because
can
of
stay up there. It can stay
okay.
there.
All right. Because listen, when
No, no,
anything that is cold, no, y'all can't
no.
keep that. Keep the cold. So
Yes.
in terms of when you moved there, was there
Mhm.
a culture shock, something that you're like, wow, I never expected this at all?
Mhm. Well, um, okay. So one of the things was the food cooking. First of all, when I'm cooking, I, I couldn't seem to find the right seasoning, the spices. I bought the onions were huge, and you get the scallion, what they call green onions. And no matter how I put the spices, I just couldn't taste. They say you can't catch the taste.
Right, right.
And eventually, I learned to shop at the shops,
I was
Mexican.
going to ask you where you can get the spices, if there's
Yes,
any stores there or anything that,
no,
similar spices.
yes, the Mexican shop and the Asian shops. They have,
Okay,
and in fact, not just the taste, but the texture
right.
of some of the foods. For example, I didn't know. I thought all sweet potatoes were created equal. So,
No,
so
they have a variety
I bought
here
my
in the
sweet
US.
potatoes, ready to make my sweet potato pudding, and I did everything right according to my Jamaican recipe.
Right.
And when I baked it, Xavier, instead of pudding, I don't know, slush. It was liquid.
It, it plaka plaka.
Plaka, plaka. You know the thing. It wasn't firm at all. Plaka, plaka. I said, what
Yeah,
is this? And it's after that, no, I learned that, there are different types of
right.
potato. They have what you call sweet yam. They call some yams. What they call yam, of course, is not what we call yam. And
Exactly.
but you have some potatoes, some sweet potatoes with more starch in it, which is the
Mm,
one I needed.
right.
So
So
you
so you got to, so eventually you got to make
eventually, yeah,
your potato pudding.
yes, eventually.
So
That was
have you given any of the potato pudding to any of the neighbors around? Have any of your neighbors come over and tried the Jamaican food?
well, I actually, when you say that, um, I found a little, no, not neighbors, but I found a little meetup group of Jamaicans that we celebrate like independence and Christmas, like in the park, or so we bring our Jamaican food. The first time we did that, I think it was an independence time.
Okay.
And we started pool together at a potluck. I can still remember, Xavier, somebody had brought up akis. We brought akis from Jamaica, and we had the codfish, and
Okay.
then when you cook up that first, and then you add the akis, and I'm telling you, Xavier, the room went quiet when we saw just the magic of the aki and the codfish. The room just went quiet, like wow, it was a
How many
magic
how many
moment.
how many of you gather typically for this event?
Typically, well, that first time, I think there were about 10 of us, and it's gotten a little bigger now, because families come up and more people come up, and so not more than about 20, if so much.
Okay.
But we have like a meetup group. we communicate by WhatsApp.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So a WhatsApp group that all the Jamaicans kind of keep in touch and share
Yes.
jokes and share
Right.
news
Mhm,
and
mhm.
anything that's going on within the
Yes.
community itself.
Yes. It's funny. One day I was in the post office. I'm going, I think I'm coming out, and a lady was going in, and we kind of looking at each other. And it turned out that she was Jamaican. There's just something, and I don't know. We actually then we spoke, and then definitely, she was
She
Jamaican,
opened
and
her mouth and you say, yes, got it.
yes, and yeah, so we kept in touch for a while and visited for a while there. And in fact, I would say the first Jamaican that met in Boise, and this is apart from my son's friends, because he had grown up with a little community, a couple, not many, but they went to college together and kept in touch. So, but I was going to a church. So it was a Seventh-day Adventist church. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. And at that church, they had a group of Africans, and then they had the Caucasians. The Africans their service was in their language because they were not speaking English yet.
Okay.
And out of the group, so I was talking to a Caucasian guy, and somebody came out of the group. She heard me talking, and she said, "You come from Jamaica?" And of course, we became fast friends, because it's one thing to see another black person, but to have somebody actually coming from the same place you are coming from, because you can share so much. We
So
became
yes, yes.
fast friends. It's
And the
different.
stories and where to buy this and where I
Yes,
get
yes,
this and how
yeah,
this,
yeah,
quite interesting.
yes,
Probably
yeah,
everybody draws off each other. And that's
yes.
good. Let me
That was
ask you this:
fantastic.
cost of living. What's the cost of living like in
Yeah.
Idaho?
Well, I was looking at that. It's not too bad. It's fairly good.
Okay,
Uh,
all right.
and people have been moving. People from California have been moving here, and Idahoans don't like that because it means more traffic on the road, and house prices going up, and all that kind of thing. But
Okay, so there's
just
been there's been some population growth recently
yes,
since
yes, yes.
since
Especially since there was a fire. I don't know if you remember, fire in Paradise in California,
yes,
a couple of years ago.
yeah.
That was really something. And some more people are moving here to
Okay.
Ireland.
So another question: getting to
Mhm.
Jamaica, how many stops you have to make now? I mean, in terms of your trip, you're flying to what? Probably New York and then Jamaica. Or is it Miami
No,
or
man.
Atlanta?
First, we go to Denver.
Okay, so you're
Denver,
flying to
Colorado.
Denver.
No, no, I think it's Phoenix first. Phoenix, Arizona. I don't know which one come first, but we stop at Phoenix, we stop in Denver, and then we get to Miami.
Wow. So traveling to Jamaica is almost
It's a
a
long
full
time.
day
Almost a
event.
day. Yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
Day.
Wow. Wow. So
No.
in terms of, you said there's not a lot of Jamaicans
Mhm.
there. When you say you're Jamaican to people who, either, I don't know if you call them Idahoans or,
Yes, yes, you're right.
when you say you're
Idaho.
Jamaican, what
Mhm.
is the typical question or response that you get?
Okay. So what they ask is, oh, have you seen that movie Cool Runnings? Cool Runnings. Remember Cool Runnings?
Very, very popular, on the Jamaicans.com platform. One of the most searched terms is cool runnings.
And actually, and then I get to tell them that in the actual, not the movie, one of the guys from Christopher Stokes. Cool
Okay.
Runnings. He's Christopher Stokes, and he actually went to the University of Idaho. I don't know if not many people know that,
No, I
but he's
didn't know that.
Jamaican. His mother, Blossom Stokes, we worked at the Ministry of Education
Okay.
at the same time. So, but both of our kids went to U of I, but at the time with that Cool Runnings thing, they did enter the bobsled team. They did enter the Olympics. And I believe there was a year that they actually beat the US. There was a year that they actually beat the US.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So Cool Runnings, and I guess, because of the area, it's
Yes, because the snow,
it's the snow and all of that. It's the
yes,
first one of the first things that come to mind.
yes. So Jamaicans, how Jamaicans are. We just can you imagine? Because I'm keeping away from the snow, and he is, they just use it. And can you imagine that? I mean, the whole thing about a Jamaican going into that Olympics, Winter Olympics. It's
So
incredible.
so in Idaho, I mean, again, I've said it before, potatoes and so on, but is there like a traditional food that you found that the people there really, it's if it's Thanksgiving, if it's this is what they're gonna cook?
Yeah. Yes. Well, that it's not really a Boise, Idaho thing. It's the American thing. The turkey, of course. You must have turkey,
Right.
and potato salad, and the other different salads, and so on. And to tell the truth, I think the first Christmas I was kind of disappointed because the whole thing was about Thanksgiving, right? Thanksgiving is a big deal, and yes, we had a lush everything, but Christmas wasn't so, and that's when we have our thing,
Right. Yes. Our
cooking.
big
And
thing is then,
yeah, the big thing was. So I was a little disappointed at first Christmas, but then, you
get used to it.
You get used to it, and then I get to add my rice and peas and so on later on.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yes,
Is
yes.
there a Jamaican restaurant in Boise?
No, I haven't found that. I think I heard that there might have been like a food truck.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. I was trying to verify that.
Okay. Well, keep us updated,
Yes,
if there's a
yes,
food truck there. I mean, you have your WhatsApp group. I'm sure the WhatsApp group,
yes,
once that's verified, everybody going make a trip out there and check them out.
right. So what I do sometime in the Christmas season and so on, I do my Christmas cake and make it available to my WhatsApp group.
Nice.
Yeah.
You put the royal icing on there.
No, we don't really use the ice.
I know. We're supposed to stay away from the sugar. I love it with the ice.
Oh, you love it. Xavier, too much sugar. Everything has sugar up here. The donuts, everything. I try to, cool it down.
Yes.
I love sugar, but sugar don't love me.
So listen, Thelma, I really appreciate you spending some time telling us about your journey to Idaho, where the potatoes are. I have to always say that. I love that.
Potatoes grow.
Where the potatoes grow.
Right. So actually, I was looking at one of the recreation things. You see, like in Times Square, when they have the drop on New Year's Eve, they have a potato drop. They have a potato drop, a huge potato.
I was about to ask you, what was the thing or attraction that we should come and see? So it's a potato drop.
Yes, the potato drop.
So describe it. What is the potato drop?
Okay, So just like I've never actually been to one, but it happens on New Year's Eve, and they have a huge potato. I mean, huge, and they drop it at just
At
as
midnight.
at midnight, right, right.
So is it dropping into an empty place? They open it up and it drops
Yeah,
into an empty place.
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I've not actually seen it,
All
but
right.
that's a
So
big thing.
so is there any other place in Idaho that you say if you come visit this place, it's it might be because it's just beautiful or what, any place.
Okay, well, they have the hot springs. They have a place named Craters of the Moon.
Right.
There's a monument, natural monument and preserves, and they have lots of ski resorts, you
Okay.
know,
All
and
right. So
but lots of
come
parks.
prepared. Come prepared to ski.
And they have lots of parks too that you can
So
come in the summertime. So
so
it's not
so,
just
let,
the
so,
winter.
so here's a
Yeah.
question. Have you tried skiing yet?
Me? No, thank you.
No?
No, thank you.
Not even a little, I think they call them bunny slopes. So you put on the skis and you know, no, not even the bunny slopes. You haven't even
The
attempted
closest
that.
I've come to skiing is once I was at a daycare. I had to collect this little boy from the bus, and I'm walking with him. The next thing I know, I'm sliding. I'm on my back,
Oh,
and the
hopefully
little
your back
boy is going,
didn't hurt
"Are
your back.
you, are you okay, Miss Thelma? Are you okay?" No, I didn't hurt anywhere, but I felt like Goliath and David. When Goliath is on the ground, and
So so I have a scenario for you. When you visit Jamaica, you
right.
get off the plane and
Mhm.
you get out the airport. What is that first thing you're doing once you get out and the airport at Jamaica?
Mhm. Well, of course, the first thing would be to get my coconut water, because although I see coconut water up here, it comes from Hawaii, but it's in a tin, and I'm not gonna
I
drink that.
see.
So
I
I'm
see.
gonna get my coconut water, and then I head for New Kingston, where they have jerk. My son has become a great cook of jerk and so on, but I still, the Jamaican one is still the best.
All right. I know there are folks here that have mastered it, getting, the wood, the pimento wood and the chips and everything like that. So I have to give, folks their props. It's a competition between does it taste better in Jamaica or taste better foreign is very close.
Yes, yes, yes,
Very, very
yes.
close,
Mhm.
So
Yes.
any word of advice for a Jamaican who is thinking of moving to Idaho?
Mhm. Yeah. Idaho, I think, is a very friendly place. I've met some wonderful people here, and yes, if you do it the right way, there's no problem. It's most, you don't. It's I checked, and they say it's less than 0.01% Jamaicans who are here.
Oh,
But but I found very wonderful persons, people in Idaho. I go to my church, and they are very welcoming, because of course that is what we do.
right.
Also, I by chance I met up on this poetry group. Can I tell you a little about that?
Certainly.
Okay, so at the library, I met up with this poetry group, and then I was welcomed in, and I got to write poetry. I hadn't written for a while, but I restarted my poetry writing, And after that, that was called Poetry in the City of Trees, because I don't know if you know, but Boise, which is the capital of Idaho, is that means City of Trees. So the poetry group was Poetry in the City of Trees. And I wrote with the group, and they actually published 2 anthologies, and I have
Right.
poems in them. And then I was invited to join another group, which is called Live Poet Society, which you can only, you have to be invited to that group.
Nice.
And then this is a recent book that we published,
Oh,
and
congrats.
and they told me I should make sure to tell you that the title belongs to a poem that I wrote in the book,
Oh,
and
wow.
and they chose it. They voted for it to be the title of the anthology.
That
So
is awesome.
I think
Congratulations,
so. I'm
Thelma.
still pinching myself.
Congratulations on that.
Thank
Well,
you.
Thelma, thank you again for spending some time with us and telling us about your journey there to Idaho, where potatoes grow.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Thelma. Thank you and walk good.
Okay, well, good too.
Show us some love now. Hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss a video.